All right, guys. So I think it's about time I finally do a redux, a remaster of basically what I did to my old build, because I think the last time I made a video on it was like a year ago, and I changed it a lot, and it is a lot better. It is a lot stronger and probably a lot more toxic. So let's actually break down what I did for the build at first, right? So for starters, right, the biggest thing that mattered to me was making sure that I got exoskeleton, right? So 40 fortitude, and then making sure I got high intelligence, right, afterwards. Now, these days, they did add like a talent that gave you, what's it called? This was before they added that one talent that can uncap your mantra pen, but you need flame charm with that, so you'd have to change up the build a bit. So it's up to you if you want to go that, right? But obviously, the most important thing is making sure you can get neuro overload, so you can get up to four mantra modifiers if you decide to use like things like 4 perfect and 4 crystal on like the fire force to make it go like super quick, right? Which is what I like to use. So that's what I went. You can also get, singularity, all that. I don't even know if I have singularity on this build. Yeah, so this build is outdated. You can get all those new talents that came out with 90 intelligence. And then you shrine down, right? You want to make sure that you have pretty much one into everything. And from there, you're gonna want to go 25 agility. Actually, let me switch this up in the bit for the future. But 25 fortitude. I'll explain why after. 25 strength, 60, or you're gonna go down to 60 intelligence, 40 willpower, and then you're gonna go up to 55 charisma, right? And then 100 flame charm. Now, the reason why you don't want to go 30 strength, the biggest blunder here is that I don't have condition runner, and there's nothing good at 30 strength for this build anyway. You want to go 25, so afterwards you can go 25 4, 25 agility, so you can get endurance runner to get condition runner, right? 40 willpower. The willpower talents with fortitude are pretty good, and on top of that, Azure Flames is 40, which just makes your build overall better. 55 charisma, obviously, for Vision Shaper, and we'll go into the combos with that. And of course, 100 flame charm. You want everything under the flame charm tree, pretty much. There's a couple exceptions, right? But I'm just gonna go through my talents here real quick, just to show you guys the talents that I have and explain the new ones that I've actually gotten over time. So real quick, let me head over to the office. Gotta love this thing. The Shrine of Chance. Let me explain, right? So over here, right, I actually decided to pick up, and this is a big difference from before, Eruption Path, right? I actually decided to pick up Eruption Path. So past like Perfect Flash is where you can probably start to see a lot of the changes to see what I actually end up getting. So Will of Wisp, right, this is super important. You want to make sure you get that because you have a lot of matches to use. As you can see, you don't even see my weapon on the bottom of my hotbar here, right? Make sure you get all the eruption talents. They're really good. They're really good. Even Molten Defense, even though it got nerfed, it's still free defense when you're block broken, and people are super aggressive still sometimes, so people forget. Potion Quaver is just so you can have, if you want, this is just more so like a gank sort of thing. If you have like health pots, right, or insanity pots, very handy to use that. I forgot to get Battle Tendency. I gotta be honest here. There's a few things I actually forgot to get on the build that I had to add on to the build like it's supposed to finish, and I didn't even have Emperor Flame until recently, which is funny. Obviously, Pocket Bombs, ever changing, right? And there's just a lot of, and Phoenix Flame is actually sometimes really useful too. You'd be surprised what you can get away with just by jumping off a cliff and using like Flame Within, for example, right? If you decide to pick that up on your build. Now, actually going over to the mantras and why I decided to use them, right? So as you can see, you don't usually see my giant flame palm here. I still have it, but what I'm rocking right now is I got the Vinshipper mantras, right? Except counter, right? Fireforge, I still love this Fireforge because one hit of it will proc the insignia, which makes my Ash Slam super fast or my Flaming Courage a lot faster. I really like it. It's actually really good for maging. Then you have the Flaming Skirt Reversal. This thing needs to be nerfed, but it's so good in ganks. It's basically just a free hit most of the time if someone's not paying attention. Ash Slam, the bread and butter for ganks, and just in general, even in Chime, it's just a free AoE mantra to use. Fireblade, obviously you need your guard break, which you can combo into a Flaming Skirt, especially because that Floor's Lava combo really hurts. And then you have Flame Leap, just really good mobility. And it's also, if you have it with the Insignia, it falls down a lot faster too, which can catch people off guard. Honestly, you could slap Bloodless onto all these except Fireforge, and then just have Blue Gem / Blessed for some of these mantras here. Blessed doesn't work, I'm going to change to blue. And then Flame Sentinel, dude, this thing needs to be nerfed, man. This thing is just 3 damage and bloodless. It's insane. I don't know why this mantra exists, but it's super, super good. Very, very good. So generally how I play, right? Obviously, you want to go in and spam a ton, right? Now, the biggest difference here, right, is that your clones, right? Your clones can actually do mantras now, right? That wasn't a thing before. So take a peek here, right? As you can see, he'll drag him in, and there's a lot you could do, right? My biggest bread and butter, I like to crit as I'm switching. Very, very strong. You have to do it right at the start. They did make it to where you can't do it really in the middle anymore, probably for a good reason. But yeah, there's just like a lot of things I like to do while like my clone is so active. So if my clone's gone, put another one down, right? Have him do this, right? Switch out. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of different ways you can play. Like, boom, right? I switched out mid flame leap. Very, very handy. Now, let's go over the other parts of this build. Now the health kit, right? Before I didn't really have a lot of health. The health kit is actually super big. I have Star Boots, Bastions of Enmity, Parasol Planter, the Moonlit Earrings, Amber Brown Citadel Frames. Hold on, let me kill this little dude. Come here, come here. Give me that. Anyway, after see why that Flaming Scourge would work. It just does so much damage. Anyway, the Confessor's Charm, up to you if you want to use Confessor's Charm. Really, I just like it because it gives me extra fizz, and this but it doesn't have so much fizz. It only has 40%. But you can use the Whistling Crab. That thing is like still really good as well. And then my rings, Congus Clutcher 6 HP, because the slide, look at this halo, right? The slide is really good, and you can slide cast. Look at that speed. Look at that speed. Even while using Fire Forge, right? Even when using, well, okay, actually the crit, they kind of changed that, right? Fire Blade up close, just like that. That's why I love Congus Clutch. Ring of Casters, just more mantra damage. Moon Ring for more HP, and Deep Ring for more burn damage. Or actually, I think it just makes your eruption slightly better. I just want my eruption to be as best as it could be because it actually does deal a lot of damage over the course of a fight. As for my armor, I'm still running Prophets. You can run the Squibble one if you're like ganking, for example. The Squibble one does make it pretty handy because those few seconds of what is it called, iframes or vent frames from mantras in a gank can actually really do a lot, and it's very easy to land the critical here. You just need one tick or one hit of it to actually proc the talent. And then from there, the bell, I actually decided to change my bell from Reaper to Sacred Field, and this is a pure elemental Wither Sacred Field. This is actually super handy in a gank because most of the time, a lot of time, the damage you're taking is from those stray Flaming Scourge, Shadow Gun, things like Ice Daggers, right? And they just nerfed the crap out of Sahar, dude. Like, Sahar got a big nerf, so you're definitely not going to see them as much, and you can resist them with physical now. So you have 40%, I have 40% resistance to Sahar moves. That is crazy. So you want to run full elemental. The only thing you're gonna have to worry about are those big heavy builds, but a lot of times if you're like, they're not going to be doing so much damage to you if you're paying attention, right? The big damages that are always going to be hitting you is what's it called, those mantras, right? So that's why I want a pretty much full elemental with slight physical Sacred Field. With Wither is just amazing, very easy to clear. You just need to hit a guy once, and since the build is giant AoE, that's going to be no issue for you. So like I said, hopefully that covers pretty much everything how I updated this build. I just want to quickly go over it. There was just a couple of things that I had to make sure that I just cleared up because there was a lot that I changed and people were asking on stream. And here, just a couple more of what my things are looking like, just again real quick, just go through them, right? Yeah, that's what, see, this flame was super important, so I can get that Flaming Sentinel there. Here's my summary, and that's gonna be pretty much all for the video, guys. I'll be catching you guys later. All right, peace.